I try as much as possible to stay away from people who have negative thinking because you almost cannot do anything with that mindset. No matter where you find yourself, it is very important for you to believe and to have that positive thinking. With anything in life, right? There's always the good and bad. I think where people miss the mark is focusing too much on the negative parts of things. There's a level of success that you actually need delusion. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's a level of success. There's some dreams that are so big that you've got to be delusional.
Yeah.
Right? And people will call you delusional, right? Because they can't even imagine it themselves. It is very, very important for you to surround yourself around people who are like-minded. People who you see on the same path as you. Because when you have this dream to be like, bro, oh my God, I've been thinking about the same thing.
See, bro, I can't tell you the number of opportunities that have landed myself as a result of pushing myself or taking myself out.
Yeah.
I like to connect with people. Your network is your net worth indeed.
It did.
It's not just a cliche. It's working. I've seen it work in my life.
The moment you find yourself in a place where like you're the richest or you're the most intelligent or the most affluent, you need to get out of that space.
Hello, great friends. You know what time it is. It is your man again, Dr. Earnie Royalty, your number one host of the Royalty Mindset podcast. We're back again. Have you missed me? I have missed you. All right, we are here again with another exciting episode. Promises to be fun and educative, as usual. You know, this time around, I have a guest that I'm very excited about. My guest for today is a great friend of mine, who is a system analyst and doing wonders in America and, of course, all over the world. We're coming to you with a great topic, and this topic is going to wow you. Before I introduce the topic, I'd like to introduce or bring to you my friend, Michael. Michael.
Brother.
Nice to have you on my podcast finally.
Thanks for having me, man.
I've been looking for ways to bring you here all this while, but you've been very scarce, man.
Man, yeah, with everything that we have to go through here in this country and, with life in general, but we're here. So,
absolutely.
I'm happy to be here. Bro.
I'm very glad to have you here, man. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Nice. So, today, we're going to be having a discussion regarding, mindset. We'll call it the science of positive thinking, the science of positive mindset, right? And how it impacts our ways of life, how it impacts our goals, we're pursuing, how it impacts everything as regards our lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Because I believe a lot of people really need to understand the importance of having that positive thinking or mindset to be able to achieve their goals in life. And that is what I want us to discuss. We'll be digging deep into so many things, so many areas, right? What we do, how we started and all of that, because we believe there are a lot of people out there who would want to listen to this conversation and be helped. Wherever they are today, where they are not having success and they are trying to navigate, they are into bringing themselves into that successful environment.
Absolutely.
So, Michael, tell me, you've been in this country now, America, for how many years?
7, 8 years now.
7, 8 years. Wow, how time flies, man.
It does. It feels like yesterday. It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to piggyback on what you just said. Yes, positive thinking is very critical. I believe no matter where you find yourself, right, it is very important for you to believe and to have that positive thinking. It's going to be difficult, right? It's okay for you to doubt yourself. It's okay for you to, self-analyze. It's okay for you to have fear. As a matter of fact, I think fear should be that motivation for you, right? For me personally, when I think about doing something, right, no matter how positive I think, that stuff would be for me, right? No matter how excited I am for that thing, if I don't have a little bit of doubt or fear in me, to me, it's not really worth it, right? When I have an exam coming on, when I have a project coming on, when I have like a presentation,
Yeah.
I need to feel a little bit of doubt. I need to feel a little bit of fear, because at that point I want to prove something to myself, right?
Yeah.
But then, make no mistake, I would always keep that positive mindset, right? Because I believe I have everything that it takes for me to achieve. I have everything that it takes for me to, conquer anything that's in front of me, right? But like they always say, there's a yin and yang, right? With positivity is negativity.
Right.
But I think where people miss the mark is focusing too much on the negative parts of things, right? With anything in life, right? There's always the good and bad, right? You're moving to America, right? From Nigeria. Yeah, that seems like a positive thing to do, right?
Yeah.
But then there's also a negative aspect to that, right? If you're not someone who is strong enough, you might lose who you are, right? You might get to America and, follow the wrong crowd. America is a place where, like, you can easily go to jail for anything. Whereas in Nigeria, it's not so much law and order. You could get away with a lot of stuff. Okay. I mean, there are so many people in Nigeria who are roaming around who deserve to be in jail. But because they're not in jail because, like, the law and the system is not there, right? You can almost get away with things. But here, if you come with the same mindset that you have in Nigeria and you think you'll get away with it, you would find yourself in jail, right? So as much as it's a positive thing, people go to church and give testimony when they get a visa to move to another country, which is a positive thing, right? You feel like, okay, yeah, I have an opportunity to go to a developed world and make something of myself. For the most part, people carry that positivity down to America.
Yeah.
But then there's also the negative aspect of it, right? So as much as you're keeping the positive thinking and paying attention to, all the nice things that could happen, I also think you should be aware of the negative things that could happen.
Yeah.
Things could go wrong for you. So while we're thinking about this, and for anybody watching this, yes, positive thinking is really, really important for anything you're trying to do. Whether it's you moving to a new country, starting a project, going into a new career, you need to keep that positive vibe and energy, right?
Yeah.
But also, negative things could happen. But you also have to be prepared. You have to be aware and not just, it's all good. No. Remember, it could go south. But when it does, you're kind of prepared because you understand that, it's not all just rosy and, good vibes all the time. So, we'll talk about that later. But, that's what I think when I hear about positive thinking. It's important for everything that you need to do. When you write things down and you say, okay, these are the things I want to achieve. These are the things I would like to do in the next 2, 3, 5 years. You sitting down and doing that is a positive mindset in itself, because you're putting it in the atmosphere and you're writing it down. You're believing that you're able to, achieve these things. So that's the starting part of, achieving anything. That positive,
beautifully,
vibe.
Positioned, I would say, cheers to that. Beautiful. So, right, when you just started your analogy or your explanation, you did mention that fear is like a catalyst.
It is.
Meaning that you are making use of it positively. Because there's positive fear and there's negative fear.
Yep. Yep.
Negative fear is the one that kills your vibe and you are unable to do nothing. And that is the one that is wrong. The positive fear is the one that, in Nigeria, we call it ginger. It was something that prompts you to really want to exude and make something happen. Because you are challenged.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you're excited.
You're excited about it and you're like, I must not fail. I have to put in everything, all effort to make sure that I get this goal achieved.
Yes.
That's a positive fear. It challenges you, prompts you to really want to go all out and achieve the, the goal you set for yourself. Yes. That is so beautiful. Like you mentioned, you said that whatever it is that you do, or say for example, you were like, you want to move to a new country, for example, you realize that there's a positive side of things, and of course, there's a negative side of things, which is so true, in the sense that you know that you have a beautiful goal to achieve, but it's never going to be easy.
It's not.
It's never going to be easy to achieve those goals, and then there are other things you have to do. You have to put in place in order to be able to achieve, whatever goal you set for yourself. And one beautiful thing I have thought about, when we started talking about this topic, we call it the science of positive thinking, right? In everything we do in life, I've realized that positive thinking is the foundation, is the bedrock of it all. If you really want to make success out of whatever it is that you have made up your mind to achieve, that positive mindset is the bedrock, is the foundation that will help you really achieve those. Without that, you go nowhere. You go nowhere. Now, Michael, let me ask you. The first time we met, right? We actually met in a fashion show.
We did.
We met in a fashion show here in Dallas. And then I saw you from afar. I was like, oh, that looks like my brother, because the way you were dressing, we are the people that can only put this up, bro.
Yes.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
No. So, and I approached you and I wasn't wrong. And indeed, I discovered that you're my brother. You're Nigerian.
Yes.
And then we started talking. And I could see a lot of similarities in the way we both think.
Yes.
And that's what really, got me interested in getting to know you more. And ever since then, we've become, buddies. Now, let's talk about that. Take a look at the areas we've met. We've also met in other, events. And they were all about positive, mindset building events.
Networking,
yes. Where you meet like-minded people, and all you think of is how you want to change the world for good.
Yes.
Why is it that you have this mindset? How has it helped you in everything you've been doing in life? But I'm really curious. I want to know, because a lot of people out there too want to know, and how to also get into such kind of posture or anything like that.
Yeah, bro. Like we've talked a lot. And one of the things that we, like you mentioned, one of the things that we can relate on is the parts of the world that we grew up in, right? For many of us, we grew up with parents who, they may have had big dreams, but for some reason or the other, they were not able to live out their dreams, right? And when you grow up in a place that we grew up, there are people who look around them and they cannot see beyond, the reality. They cannot dream outside of what they see, right? So even when you as a person is trying to think outside of the box, you're trying to break the norm, right? And you're having these conversations with these people that you grew up around, because they cannot see it, right?
Yeah.
They tend to maybe subconsciously spew out negative comments. Or let's say, for example, you say, you know what, I'm going to move to America and I'm going to do this and that. They look at you like, bro, who in your family has traveled before? Who in your family has done this before? You're having that big dream and you're having that positive mindset of like, this is how I see myself. This is what I want to do with my life. And you're having these conversations with these people. And I can't blame them, right? They're not the ones having these dreams. They're not the ones seeing these things. And they can't see beyond what they know, right? So for a while, I used to get angry. Like, bro, why not just be happy? Why not just, what you can do it? Yeah. Even if they can't see it, what you can do it. If you say you want to do it, yes, why not? If anybody can achieve it, why not you? Yeah. So because I grew up with a lot of those people around me, where like, even if you eventually get to do those things, they tell you, oh, it's just luck. And then I just laugh. At some point, I'm like, as long as it's working for me, if you want to call it luck, no problem.
Yeah.
As long as I'm living out my dreams, no problem. If you like to call it luck, no problem, right? But to your point, it is very, very important for you to surround yourself around people who are like-minded, people who you see on the same path as you. Because when you have this dream to be like, bro, oh my God, I've been thinking about the same thing, right? Like, okay, what have you tried?
Yeah.
So we're able to like kind of rub minds. We're able to like, pick each other's brains. And it's a thing where, like, if you're the only one who is striving by yourself, right, there's so much you can do. Because trust me, Ernie, there are so many things that you're figuring out that you eventually probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying the same thing. But if I know you and I have a conversation with you, I'm like, bro, I already did that, bro. Let me show you how to get it done. You know, I suppose
easy.
Yeah, because now you figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's something else that I figured out that maybe you haven't even tried.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, are you interested in this? Yeah, I can show you how I get.
Yeah. You don't need to stress yourself about it.
Yeah, at that point, just by you having the right people around you, you're able to get more things done, as opposed to you just figuring it out by yourself, right? So there's a saying where, like, you know, I know it's cliche, but like, your network is literally your network.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you might be making 100K by yourself, right? But trust me, that's what some people make in a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's what some people make in a month.
Right.
So while in your own little world, you might be the one making that money, and you feel like you're doing well for yourself. But trust me, if you get around other people, they show you how to make much more.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the type of person who always wants more.
Yeah.
You have to constantly try and put yourself around people who motivate you. People who show you different levels of, like, elevation.
Right.
We had this conversation the last time.
We did.
You know, well, like you said, you told me, yeah, I'm doing well for myself.
Yeah.
But then I go around some people who are like really crushing it. I'm like, damn,
Yes.
I still have a lot of work to do.
Yes.
And as men, I think that's the essence of us, the sense of competition, the sense of, like, yeah, I need to do more.
Yeah.
You know, that keeps us going, right? And as a guy, right, you need men around you to push you, you know? And that's why, like, sports is very good as a young man growing up, because you feel that sense of, like, competition.
Yeah.
You know, you feel
healthy competition.
Yeah, healthy. Yeah, because it's good for you to mention healthy, because it can also be very toxic.
Right.
So yeah, like, networking, putting yourself around people who you can learn from, right? The moment you find yourself in a place where, like, you're the richest or you're the most intelligent or the most affluent, you need to get out of that space and go find people who motivate you. People would, you know, teach you more. Yeah, make you grow more, because that's the essence of, like, men. We're here to build, we're here to provide, we're here to, you know, and we can only do that to the capacity of what we have.
Very true.
So if you want to do more and you want to affect more, you want to provide more, you need to constantly build more.
Yeah.
Right. So to you know, answer your question, I know it's a long answer to that, but yeah, that's the reason why I put myself in those rooms, right? Yeah, I feel like I still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And there's so much for me to figure out, right? And I like to put myself in those spaces, like meeting people, having conversations, you know, trying to learn from what they're doing. If it's stuff that I'm interested in, if it's something that I can, you know, also, if it's a space that I can get myself into, why not? Well, like, at the age where, like, you got to figure it out, bro. Time flies, like we said earlier. And now is the time for us to try as much as we can.
Very true.
You know, squeeze. Bro, you have no idea how many people have so much time in their hands and they're not trying to learn something new. I didn't go to school to become a system analyst.
Yeah.
It was one of the...
ladder.
Yeah, I was having conversations, bro, what are you doing? You're in tech. Okay, what part of tech are you? You know, and then he told me, like, really? Let me look into that.
Yeah.
Trust me, in 3 months.
It was in.
I was in 3 months. You know, and that's just it, right?
Yeah.
And with so many other things that I've tried, it's just me having conversations with people and, you know, hearing what they figured out. You know, and the same thing with me. I've helped a lot of people, like, get into different spaces where, like, you know, just because we had that conversation.
Right.
You know, so it's important, you know, get into rooms, you know, talk to people, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You said something very striking. You said you have to be hungry.
You gotta be.
Yeah, you have to be hungry, because it's one thing to want to be something. It's another thing to really want to be something. There are two different things. And I will explain.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be a medical doctor. Okay. But that's just word of mouth.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Do you know what it takes to be one?
Me that medical doctor. That is the other side of things right now. You want to be, but you really want to be. So you say that, you know, you have to be hungry. You must be ready to learn. You must be ready to come out of your, you know, shell and really embrace that knowledge. And you do that by leveraging on the people you meet.
Yes.
That's the reason why we go to events. See, bro, I can't tell you the number of opportunities that have landed myself as a result of pushing myself or taking myself out.
Yeah.
That's just me. I'm a socialite. I like to see people. I like to meet people. I like to connect with people. Your network is your net worth indeed.
Indeed.
It's not just a cliche. It has a meaning.
Yeah.
It's
true.
It has a meaning. It's
Yeah.
working. I've seen it work in my life. Okay, for example, you just mentioned something like with the discussion we had. You may be worth $5 million today, right? But there are people out there that are worth $100 million. What happens when you bring yourself in their midst and get yourself connected? Before long, you'll be worth $20 million.
Yes.
Before long, you'll be worth $50 million.
Yeah, just by affiliation.
By affiliation. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
We don't know it all. We don't know it all. The people you surround yourself with today, you might have learned one or two things from them, but there are other things you can still learn.
So many of them.
And that's why we keep connecting. That's why we keep going out to meet people. And it's all about, anyone that is able to develop this mindset, it's a positive mindset.
It is.
Yeah. Anyone who is able to develop this mindset, I tell you, bro, there's nothing stopping that man. There's nothing stopping that woman.
True.
So that's the life we live in today. Bro, America is a beautiful land.
Indeed.
It's a great country. I keep telling people this is the greatest country in the world.
I concur, yes.
Yeah. By God's grace, I have been to so many countries in the world, and I can tell you that none of those countries is as great as America. I'm not saying this just because I want to praise America. I'm saying this because this is what I have come to see. This is what I have come to realize in my quest of finding, things all around the world, finding treasures all around the world. Bro, we are in America, one of the greatest country in the world, as I called it. What do you think those people who are trying to come into this country, but they've been discouraged by one factor or the other? And I've seen a lot of people on social media, saying that America is not that great as this guy say it is, and they have never been to America.
Right.
They've never been to America. What do you have for such people?
First thing I would say is great does not mean perfect. Right? Every country has its problems.
Yeah.
America is the melting point of so many kinds of people, right? And that's what makes it great, right? Let's even take it back to Nigeria. Lagos is great compared to the other states in Nigeria because of, the diversity that it has.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to sell anything
in Lagos,
and because you have the people there that you can sell to, right? If you take that same thing that you're selling, if you take it to Benue State, trust me, you're going to go hungry.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here in America, right? It's a melting point of, you can find literally any kind of race that you want in America, right? And that's what makes it great, right? And again, it's a capitalist economy where it means if you're smart, you can sell anything, right? Moral or immoral, right? But I would hope that you would try and venture into something moral, right? But again, we mentioned both of us, right? We're in tech. We probably didn't study tech for our first degree, but because we're in America, where you're able to get into a different field, and if you're smart enough, be able to do well for yourself, right? So for anyone who is thinking about moving to America, and you've heard a lot of people talk about, it's the greatest country, and you're like, I beg you, what makes it great? It's not great because it's perfect, of course. There's so many downsides to living in America, taxes, to name a few. But if you have a good head over your shoulder, right? If you're smart, if you have positive mindset, if you surround yourself with people that have the same positive mindset, and pick a lane or two, and go at it, I promise you, you're going to take care of yourself. At least. You don't have to be a millionaire to live a good life, right? But if you're someone who can sit down, write things down, right? For example, I want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
If you write it down, I want to be a nurse. You write down, okay, what certifications do I need? What school do I need to go to? Right? You can easily start making those steps.
Right.
You can be guaranteed by the time you're done with school, you're going to get a job. This is strictly speaking someone who wants to move here.
Right.
And that's just an example. If you want to go into tech, right? Even if you studied biology in Nigeria, even if you study, actuarial science, botany, whatever stupid course you're studying in Nigeria, chemistry, which is what I studied, right? If you move to America and you say, you know what, I want to get into tech, all you need to do is get certifications in cybersecurity, get certification in, AWS, put together a resume and sell yourself. That's it. That's all it takes. Trust me, I don't think you could easily do that if you go to China. I don't think you could easily do that if you go to Australia. I don't think you could easily even do that if you go to Canada. I don't even think you could easily do that even in the UK.
No. In Germany,
because the opportunities are not
those things.
They might be there, but in terms of you finding the easy path to get that in America is so wide for you. And that's why I say, you don't even have to be the smartest guy. You don't have to be the smartest lady, right? I'm telling you why this place is the greatest, right? You can move here. If you're smart, you don't even need to be the smartest. If you're smart enough to go to school and graduate, and you can sit down and study and do a certification and pass and sell yourself, that's all you really need to take care of yourself. Now, there's layers to it, right? Now, if you want to get into real estate, now you want to get into different things, you can tap into something what they call the credit system. You can leverage that. You don't need to have money, right?
Yeah.
You can start the easy way for you to even set up a business, bro. In America,
Yeah.
$200, you set up a business.
I don't even want us to go there. That's a topic for another day. See, the opportunities in America are endless, for real. But I just said this
in my opinion.
I've heard a lot of guys on social media saying, "Oh, what is in America and all of that." So let's not even. So I just wanted to tip in this just for someone that is listening that has been discouraged by these people, jumping the bandwagons, discouraging them from coming to America. That they just need to have the right mindset. Let's even think about this. Let's say the whole world is destroyed today, and it's just you that is left. Aren't you going to find a way to survive? That survival instinct is automatic. It comes right into you, and you start thinking of so many things at the same time, just for your survival. So this is what I just tell those kind of guys. You can survive anywhere. If you think where you are is, okay for you, fine. You don't need to move, okay? But I'm telling you, if you want more for yourself, just remember there's plenty of rooms at the top. There's plenty of rooms at the top. Where you think you are and you're comfortable, there is another place where you can be more comfortable. Okay? That is what I just want them to have. I want them to have that mindset. That's the reason why I brought that story into this conversation. Just helping them have or develop that mindset that they can be anything they want to be, and that they should know that there's always plenty of room at the top. So they should not limit themselves.
Indeed.
They should not limit themselves, but they should think outside of their environment and know that there's another environment, or there are more environments that can actually make their lives better than it is today. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. And the moment you start having that kind of mindset, you become hungry. to really want to achieve more.
Yes.
You become hungry
Yes.
for success. And until you are hungry for success, you really do not achieve nothing.
Yeah. You settle for less.
Yeah, you settle for less.
Yeah.
But when you are hungry for success, you are being pushed by by a force that you can't really explain how it's pushing you. But you just know something is pushing you to become better than you are today.
Yeah.
And the moment you start doing that, the sky will begin to be your stepping point.
Indeed.
You know.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
Like,
yeah, go ahead, please.
To your point, right? And I try as much as possible to stay away from people who have negative thinking, right? Because you almost cannot do anything with that mindset. You know, there are people who they'll think of something, or you tell them something positive, and they lay out like 5 things. Oh, this is what I heard about this. Oh, this is what I heard about this. Bro, like, I don't give a fuck what you heard about nothing. I'm telling you, this is what I want to do.
Yep.
And regardless of whatever experience you've had, I've had so many situations in my life where I have something that I'm trying to do. And then people come to me and, I just tell them, like, I'm not even asking for an advice. That's the funny part. I'm just telling you, let's say, for example, I'm telling you, hey, bro, like, I'm trying to buy a house. Mortgage is not something that you should run into. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Yeah, I have. But like, that's not stopping me from still
do what I want to do.
Do what I want to do. Yeah, I am paying attention to, I am being cognizant of those things that you've mentioned, but it's not going to stop me from trying.
Yeah.
Right? And there are people who, when they think of something positive, immediately they start thinking of the 10 things that are negative about it. And because of those things, they end up not doing it anymore. Because they feel like, oh, this could go wrong. What if you try and it never happens to you? And that has always been my case. Where, like, when people tell me, oh, this is their experience, right? I'm like, wow, I'm sorry that happened to you, bro. But yeah, what makes you think is going to happen for me?
Yeah.
And so many times, you'll see like, oh, that so person treated me this way. And then I went there, I had a completely different experience. But if I had gone with your negative thinking and your negative experience and, absorb that, that would deter me from getting that opportunity because, I think it's bad.
Right.
Oh, I've heard it's bad. Oh, I've heard this, right? It's the same thing with like anything you're trying to do, right? Hold on to that positive, energy.
Yes.
Because you never know.
Very important.
You never know.
See, people dampen people's dreams because of bad energy that they exude. I said this a long time ago. I said the right energy should only attract the right energy. If your energy is positive, it automatically attracts, some positive stuff. And any negative energy that comes around, you will know immediately.
Yeah.
Because they are opposites of each other.
Yeah. You repel.
Yeah. So we have to be always awake and be conscious of that. Once you have that right energy working, you are able to tell when bad energy comes into play, and you are quick to dispel it and let it go away from you because it's going to stop you from moving forward or achieving that goal of yours. I try to surround myself with that positive energy because I know where I'm heading. My life is different from your life, and if we do not have same energy that can attract each other, we don't have no business being together. We don't have no business being friends. I am very conscious of the energy that people carry. There are some people I have discussed stuff with, and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be discussing something like this with this kind of person. Because why? This person is going to derail my dream, and I will eventually not achieve this.
Yeah, and we all have those people around us.
Yeah, we do every time. So what I do these days is I see, this person this way, and I relate with them that way, the way they know how to live their lives. And then I restrict some stuff from them. And then I look at the other one, okay, yeah, this one has the same type of energy. Okay, I can vibe and open up to this kind of person. That's how it flows. You're just trying to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You're not being proud. You're not trying to be whatever. You're just trying to protect yourself so that you're able to achieve your goals and your dreams in life.
Yeah.
Basically.
And if you're listening to this conversation and you're thinking, these ones are just talking, then this conversation is probably not for you, right?
Of course.
The
My
ones who,
podcast is not for everybody.
yeah, it's not for everybody,
No,
right?
This is.
I feel like you need to reiterate that.
It's not for everybody,
Right? Like,
it only benefits those who want success.
yeah, the ones who get it.
Who want to get it? Who really want to be out there? I know where I am, bro. You know what I'm talking about. I know my level. I know where I am. I'm not trying to be braggadocious or to be proud, but I know where I am, and I do not accept everybody in my circle.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
I do not accept everybody in my circle. The same way, whatever I say, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
No, but the ones that are wise understand.
They can relate. They can relate.
Yeah, they can relate. And I tell you the truth, they put these things to work. Watch their lives in a few years from now. They're gonna be flying.
Bro, like, to your point, it's no magic to success, really. The recipe is very simple.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, it starts from the positive mindset. Trust me, if you have a negative vibe and energy and mindset towards yourself, you're not going to do shit. Because trust me, with everything that you want to do in this life, like I said, there's a yin and yang, right? There's a negative. You can have like 10 negative things to say about it. But if you don't focus on that, right? If you write whatever you need to achieve down and just find out the requirements. These are the things that I need to do to get me to point A.
Yeah.
These are the things I need to do to get me to point B. And you just go at those things, holding on to that positive mindset that you have and why you want those things. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Right? And if you find yourself in a space where like you're having people spew negativity to you and trying to deter you from your journey, cut them off. And when I say cut them off, I'm not saying just friends. This could be people in your own family. This could be your own siblings. This could be your own parents. Because at the end of the day, right, you own your dreams. You own your vision. And it's upon you for you to, take charge of your own life. And it starts from you being positive and reinforcing positive energy at all times. Trust me, you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to, face, it's not going to be easy. You're going to face all kinds of challenges, right? But once you stay positive, right, you're always going to achieve the things that you want. It's really that simple, right? Like you mentioned, right? You hear negative stuff. I'll give you one opportunity. If you try it again, I'll cut you off. It's that simple. Because at that point, I don't need your energy. Even if I'm being delusional, trust me, I feel like there's a level of success that you actually need delusion.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's a level of success. There's some dreams that are so big that you've got to be delusional.
Yeah.
Right? And people will call you delusional, right? Because they can't even imagine it themselves. Right? A part of you could also feel it's delusional. But trust me, you never know.
Yes. I'll tell you a story.
You never know.
I'll tell you a story regarding that, right? Many years ago, I was working with a bank, and then we just finished from work. Myself and my colleague, we were walking towards the car park, and we started having a discussion. And I told him, by the time I'm this so age, I will be a millionaire in dollars.
I'm sure they looked at you funny.
He was like, he laughed basically. He laughed. He laughed. He was like, okay, I know that's not going to be possible with this, what you're doing today. Yeah, I was making 6 figures, right? That was okay. That was many years ago. But he thought, okay, maybe if you are making 150,000 right now, maybe you can tell me in that time you may be making maybe $200,000 or maybe $300,000 at most. That was what he said. And I said, no, I'm not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars right now. I'm talking about being a millionaire. Guess what? It happened. Even before the age that I had said it was going to happen. That is you telling yourself what you want with the mindset that you have already positioned yourself to be, in. And then, of course, you will not go back and sleep when uttering such kind of
No.
because
No.
that's bold.
No, yeah.
You're just talking about being delusional in some
Yeah.
dreams. That's why I mentioned this right now.
Yeah.
To me, I didn't even know how it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, guy, you just mentioned these. You just said this.
Now you have the opportunity to prove it.
You get it. That takes me back to what you said earlier when you said fear, and I came back to define and say there is positive fear and there's negative fear.
Yeah.
There are some utterances you will make that will make you feel delusional, that will even bring that fear factor into your mind and like, dude, did you know what you just said?
Yeah.
But it becomes also a challenge for you to be like, I have to prove it. I have to prove myself.
Yeah.
I went back and I pressed one or two buttons to make it work, and
it's
worked.
Not that simple. No, it's not just one or two buttons.
I don't want to go to detail in all of these things. That would be a topic for another day where I just need to really break down things.
Yeah,
But it wasn't simple. But at the same time, it felt, that I was delusional.
Yeah,
in a way. But at the end of the day, it worked out.
Yeah, indeed. It's never be afraid to dream big. At all, right? Like, we all have just one life, man. Yeah. And for me, right, I always think about 10 years from now. I always imagine myself 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. And the same way, I always imagine like the ones that came before me, right? Like, we're in a new generation right now, and there are so many people who are just like, whatever happens.
Yeah.
They're not being intentional about the energies that they have, and they're not even being present in what's happening around them.
Right.
The same way, like my granddad's generation, right? A lot of them, they just came and went. They didn't really do anything, right? And as men, in fact, in history, right, very few % of men have actually really done stuff. Most men just died in the war, died even young.
Yeah.
They just died. They didn't leave anything behind. Their names just like vanished like that. But again, there's always going to be winners and losers. Yeah. And the winners are the people who are very, very intentional, understand that, they are unique in themselves and they're able to be somewhat delusional and have the courage to, go after the things that, they say they want to do.
Right.
Because it takes courage. It takes a level of fuck what everybody says.
Yeah.
This is what I want and I am going to do it. Right? And it starts from like simply being that positive person where like, even if everything is going wrong around me, if everybody is foreclosing on their houses, you know what? I want to buy a house. Even if everything you're hearing around you is like, oh, the inflation rate is up, everybody's complaining around you,
doesn't matter.
I'm gonna make my money.
You're still gonna do it.
Oh, everything is rising. Yeah, I guess we all got to make more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna sit around and complain. There are people like that. They come online and they look for stuff to complain about, right? Oh, they said the inflation is up. Oh, they said it's this. My life is terrible. And then I'm looking at it like, oh, wow, inflation is up. Damn, I need to make more money, bro. I'm hearing that, and the next thing that comes to my mind is, bro, I need to make more money, bro. What's up? I need to make money. It's time to make more money. Inflation is up. I'm not moping and complaining. It just means I need to make more money.
Yeah. It's a mindset.
Right. Like,
it's a mindset.
Who do I need to get around? Who do I need to talk to? Bro, what's up? I need to make more money. Right? Or, yeah, people are dying of this, people are doing this, people are doing that. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Well, people are still, doing great stuff.
Yep.
Regardless of whatever is happening around you, you want to be the one where, like, no matter what's happening around you, no matter what you're hearing, you lean on the positive aspect of things.
Yeah.
Because trust me, that's what you need to keep challenging yourself and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You don't want to succumb to the negative things around you, the negative comments, the negative, there's always going to be that.
Absolutely.
Right? There's always going to be that good and bad energies.
You see, what you just mentioned right now, right? talking about whether there is inflation or anything like that, is in the Bible. I like to let you know that I'm very spiritual.
Mhm.
I'm not religious, but very spiritual.
Likewise.
And I draw my inspiration from the Bible, the Holy Book Bible, because I'm a Christian. I tell you, what you just mentioned is in the Bible. The Bible says, it says, even in drought, it said, they shall not be careful in spending. You know what that means?
Mhm.
Irrespective of what the economy says, irrespective of what the interest rate says, it says, let it be 100%. It said, those that have understood this thing, they don't care because they will still live above the inflation.
Yeah.
He said they will not be careful in drought when spending. You see, that's what you just said. That's what you just said. And these are the things that shaped my mindset. This is where I draw my inspiration from. This is what shaped my mindset. That's why I think the way I think. That's why I act the way I act. Because God says He doesn't want us to be mediocres. God doesn't like mediocrity. God doesn't like mediocres. He doesn't want us to be mediocres. He said, well, you can be contented. You can be satisfied with what you have. But He doesn't want to remain at that level. God always wants us to rise above the level we are at. He doesn't want us to remain at a point for too long. He wants us to rise above that point. That's why He says, go and dominate.
Yep.
Go and dominate and
Multiply.
rule. How can you dominate and multiply and rule if you remain at a certain level? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't happen. You have to dominate. Yes, be satisfied with what you have, be contented, and thank Him for what He's given you.
Gratitude.
But He doesn't want you to remain or stuck at that level. So that's the mindset. But for those who do not really understand this mindset, have you met some people that will say, oh, I don't want to be a millionaire, I don't want to be a billionaire, I just want to be okay. Have you met people like that?
I have, yes, indeed.
Whenever I come across such people, in my mind, I shed tears. I was like, oh, they think it's all about them. It's not all about them. If it is just about you and I, maybe in the next 30, 50 years, we don't even need to work because we already have things that will give us food.
Yes.
We are sorted. We sorted for that. But it's not because of you and I. There are people on the street that need us. Without you and I, they will never amount to nothing in life. Their destiny is dependent on us. So we need to do more so we can reach more.
Yeah.
That's basic. That's the way I think. I make money today is not just because of me. It's not just because of my immediate family. It is because of the people in the world that I can reach and change their lives.
Yeah.
You see, each time I help people, I feel happy and proud. Like I'm so satisfied. And I want to do that more and more. And it requires money to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more reason why you need to keep building and striving.
Yeah.
You should get to a level where like it goes beyond you just paying your bills. Right?
Yeah.
So to what you said some people be like, oh, I just want to be comfortable. They think, oh, as long as they're able to pay their bills
Yeah.
and they have a little residual in the
That's
bank,
what there is for them.
that's all, but there's so much more, right, that you're able to do, right? If there's something that is wrong, right, say for example you and I and a few of our friends, if this is something that is wrong, we're able to come together and say, you know what, we don't want that to happen, and we're able to put our money where our mouth is and fix that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're able to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So if we see change, we're able to affect change. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right? You see someone on the street, you feel like, you know what? I don't like the fact that I drove on that street and I see a bunch of people. I'm able to do something about it. So that's the mindset that I have, where like it goes beyond me just paying my bills. It goes to, I want to be at the point where if I see something around me that I want to change, I am financially and connected and I'm able to affect it.
Yeah.
I'm able to put my money where my mouth is.
Exactly.
Right? So it goes beyond even, like you said, just taking care of me and my family. it goes to like people around me and the things that I see around me. I'm able to pull weight. I'm able to do things because financially I'm able to affect that. Network wise, I'm able to make a few phone calls. Trust me, at the end of the day, this life is all about
exactly
what weight you can pull.
That's what
right.
That's what.
So you're able to live better. You're able to impact better. You're able to do things better. We're able to go back to Nigeria and say, you know what? There's a system in Nigeria that is not working. Okay, maybe 2 or 3 of us, let's go back and fix this. Let's set this up and let people enjoy this, because we're at that stage and we're able to give back like
Absolutely.
that. And that's how you start to leave legacies. That's how you start to build a name for yourself. It's not just about making money. It's what you do with that money when you start making it. Right? And it doesn't even have to be in something, at a grand level. Right? Even this podcast, right? It's you like, okay, yeah, I've been able to get here with the little that I know. How about let me set up, put things together and start sharing. Maybe one person is going to watch this who needs it. And maybe a sentence or two is what they need to motivate them, or even encourage them, or remind them. There are some people who have positive mindset, but for some reason, because of things that have been happening around them, they tend to forget that shit. I've always been the positive person, but lately I've not been. Well, now you're hearing this. It's a reminder for you to, get back in track to that positive mindset that you've always had. And don't let whatever life is throwing at you right now derail you from like being positive and, continuing to go after the things that you need to go after. There's so much more you need to achieve. There's so much more, that you can do with yourself. And, you need to stay positive, man.
Awesome. I mean, we've had a great discussion today. I am very sure that whoever comes, in contact with this topic and content, we definitely have one or two things, to take out from this. So in rounding up, I would say having that positive thinking, the science of positive thinking requires you to just always be up and tight and continuously think of ways you can grow, continuously think of ways you can improve your life and all of that. And then, of course, your way of thought or your thinking faculty, your process determines where you will be tomorrow. This podcast is not for everybody. This is for kings and queens who want to make their lives better. And that is what we preach here. That is what we teach here. All right. Until we meet again another day on another episode. Brother, it was nice having you on board.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Thanks for coming around.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We definitely will bring you back soon for another episode.
Sure. I had fun doing this.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this conversation. All right, guys. Come back to you another time. Bye. Cheers.